Hello and welcome to Med Simplified. I'm Dr. Umar Malik and I'm back today with another interesting video. In our previous videos, we have discussed about smoking and how to detox your lungs from the damage caused by smoking. We also discussed about a few natural ways to help your lungs recover from the damage caused by smoking. I encourage you to watch that video first. The link to that video will be displayed in the top left corner of the screen right now. Our lungs are essential for our survival, so taking good care of them is really important for us. But elements like smoking and living in a polluted environment affects them very negatively. Before we go deeper into the video, I would like to remind all of you that smoking is considered as a global pandemic as tobacco use kills 5 million citizens globally every year. The World Health Organization projects that the number of deaths will double just 15 years from now. As I mentioned in my previous videos, smoking is a leading cause of preventable deaths in the world. If you smoke, you are effectively decreasing your life by 10 years or more. But smoking and pollution are not the only reasons why lung diseases are getting very common. Lots of people find it hard to breathe because there is inflammation in their lungs. This can be due to diseases like asthma, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, pulmonary fibrosis, or even from lung cancers. While foods have not been proven to heal or treat such diseases, research has found that lifestyle changes like following a healthy diet and getting enough exercise can definitely help in lung health and recovery. A healthy, well-balanced diet goes a long way to keep your body strong, including your lungs. In this video, I will tell you about some superfoods that, if included in your diet, can substantially boost your lung recovery and eventually give you healthier lungs. So, let's begin. The number one food we are going to discuss is turmeric. Turmeric is a well-known superfood. Turmeric's potential as a powerful antioxidant and anti-inflammatory food has been recognized by researchers for decades now. Curcumin is a pigment found in turmeric that not only gives it its characteristic bright hue, but also provides a range of health benefits. Turmeric has been studied in relation to arthritis, eye conditions, cancers, heart diseases, Alzheimer's disease, and much more. Recently, a study involving 2,478 people was done to find a correlation between turmeric use and lung function. The results showed that turmeric intake was associated with improved lung function. Also, the improved lung function was proportional to the curcumin intake level. In fact, high curcumin intake in smokers was associated with up to 9.2% better lung function compared with smokers who did not consume curcumin. So, adding turmeric to your diet might just be the boost your lungs need for good health. It will not only add flavor to your diet, but also bring a wholesome goodness as well. If you'd like to know more about turmeric, make sure to subscribe to our channel, as we are going to upload a video on this topic very soon. The number second superfood for lung health is beetroot. Beetroot, which is a reddish delightful salad we all love, is a superfood. Beet and beet greens have been shown to benefit lung function. This is because beet is packed with nitrates, and nitrates are very important for healthy arteries. They relax the blood vessel walls, which decreases blood pressure and effectively increases oxygen intake, all of which can help someone struggling to breathe. This is especially important in people with lung conditions like COPD and pulmonary hypertension, a disease that causes high blood pressure in the lungs. Beets are also packed with vitamins and nutrients that can promote lung health, like magnesium, vitamin C, carotenoids, antioxidants, and potassium. Now, why potassium is important is a very simple answer. Potassium helps in reducing water retention, which prevents fluid buildup in the lungs. The most common source of potassium is bananas, spinach, broccoli, mushrooms, beets, and other green leafy vegetables. So make sure to include these foods in your diet. Number 3 on the list are vitamin C rich foods. In our previous videos, we have talked about how oxidative stress damages the organs. its blood supply and hinders the recovery process. Antioxidants are the antidote to this damage. One of the most important yet easily available source of antioxidants is vitamin C. Vitamin C is a water-soluble nutrient that acts as a powerful antioxidant. Getting enough vitamin C is especially important for those who smoke. According to a 2015 study, in people with adequate vitamin C intake, lung function is favorable, even in smokers. Cigarettes are terrible for your body since they have a negative effect on your antioxidant stores. So it's important that people who smoke to increase their intake of vitamin C in their diet. A 35 mg per day vitamin C intake is shown to be beneficial. Some of the richest sources of vitamin C include peppers, plums, cherries, guavas, blackcurrant, parsley, spinach, kiwis, and obviously lemons and citrus fruits like oranges and berries. If you would like to know more about how vitamin C helps your body, boosts your health and more, you can click the banner above or go to the link in the description below. We have made a video on this topic and I'm sure you will like it. Number 4 on the list are carotenoids and other antioxidants. Carotenoids are the pigments in plants of red, yellow and orange color. You may ask why a color-giving pigment comes on this list for lung-beneficial foods. Well, carotenoids are vital antioxidants for humans. Let me give you an example. Lycopene. Lycopene is a carotenoid antioxidant which is associated with improved lung health. And what is the richest source of lycopene? The bright red luscious tomatoes. Eating tomatoes can help reduce inflammation in people with asthma and lung disease. A survey was done in 2015 to find a link between the dietary intake of antioxidants and 10-year lung function. They found that eating plenty of antioxidants like those present in fruits and tomatoes was linked to healthier lungs, even when you're getting older. They also stated that this association was especially strong in smokers who had quit. A 2019 study was done among the patients with asthma at Al-Shifa Medical Complex in Gaza Strip, Palestine. Its aim was to identify major dietary patterns and their association with the level of asthma in those patients. They found that a prudent pattern of diet was associated with a lower prevalence of asthma. This prudent pattern was characterized by high intake of whole grains, beans and legumes, fish and shellfish products, vegetables, tomatoes, fruits and healthy vegetable oil. All of these are highly dense sources of helpful carotenoids. Some of the other antioxidant-rich foods that you can start including in your diet are pumpkins. Pumpkins contain a wide variety of lung health-promoting plant compounds. These include carotenoids such as beta-carotene, lutein, and zeaxanthin. Blueberries are also rich sources of anthocyanins, including malvidin, cyanidin, peonidin, delphinidin, and petunidin. These are good to consume if you want to keep your lungs healthy. Cabbage, especially red cabbage, is also a rich source of anthocyanins. Additionally, it is a rich source of fiber, which also helps to detox the body. Edamame beans are a great source of isoflavones. Eating high isoflavone diets may reduce the chance of getting various diseases including COPD. A 2010 study was done to find a relation between lung function changes and traditional Japanese food. The Japanese diet is high in soy products and fish, which are excellent sources of isoflavones and helpful fatty acids. The results state that isoflavone also improved the shortness of breath. Number 5 on the list are coffee and cocoa. Coffee is a wake-up drink for billions of people worldwide every morning. Its effects are attributed to caffeine, which is found in coffee, tea, cola drinks, and cocoa. A recent research has shown that caffeine might also act as a wake-up drug to boost your lung health. A 2010 research studied the effect of caffeine in people with asthma. The results stated that caffeine appears to improve airway function modestly for up to 4 hours in people with asthma. This is attributed to its ability to dilate airways and blood vessels. which improves airflow and oxygen exchange, leading to decreased symptoms even though the effects are temporary. It is here that we can also talk about the benefits of cocoa. If you are a health conscious person, then you may have heard about the health benefits of cocoa and cocoa products like dark chocolate. They contain a compound called theobromine, which helps to relax the airways in your lungs. A 2019 study was done to find a link between cocoa intake and overall health in university students. The author suggests that cocoa's potential health benefits are due to its high polyphenol content. This is attracting much attention due to its potential cardioprotective, anti-inflammatory, anti-obesity, and neuroprotective actions, which were positively reflected in people who regularly consumed cocoa. Now, what about our lungs? Well, to find this out, in 2018, an extensive research was carried out in more than 55,000 adults. The results of this study were published in a paper known as Dietary Intake of Flavonoids and Ventilatory Function in European Adults. The study showed that increasing the consumption of dietary sources of flavonoids can contribute to maintaining lung function and can also prevent its decline. The study found that those who consumed more flavonoids found in foods like chocolates, for example, had stronger lungs versus those with lower intake. High time you start indulging on chocolate. But be careful, excess of everything is harmful. Well friends, with this we come to the end of this video. I hope I have given you some new and exciting facts and knowledge. If you liked today's video, don't forget to share it with your friends and family. If you are new to our channel, consider subscribing if you like our content. We at Med Simplified always appreciate your support and feedback. Consider becoming a member of our YouTube channel or Patreon community. As always, take care and I'll see you in the next video.